Is it going to be too loud by the speaker? I'm copying it.
When you first started realizing there were certain things that we did.
Stick it back up. Stick it back over.
Hey, Jeff, I don't know the songs. We have to practice that one.
Oh, just stick them over here.
Don't you remember?
Yes.
Let me tear the sky.
Somebody wanted to change.
Thank you all for being here, the 12th anniversary of the Yarnell Hill Fire. I want to deal with the housekeeping matter first. It's a hot day. I'm seeing clouds over there, so maybe it'll cool down. But if you hadn't already noticed, there's water in a number of places. There's cool ties for your neck. We don't want anybody having any kind of a heat stroke issue. We actually have a teeny tiny air-conditioned office, so if you're really feeling sick, we can put you in air conditioning. About 3 of you would fit. So we have a very special way of helping you all to appreciate what this heat means to firefighters a little later on in the program. So for right now, I just want to begin with a brief recognition of Pastor Paul Jones, who died tragically in a car accident just this past April 1st. Paul was one of the founding members of the Yarnell Hill Recovery Group. One of the wisest things Paul said was, "This is a marathon, not a sprint." 12 years later, we know how right and how wise Paul was. Paul also founded the Weaver Mountains Chorale, who will perform for us now.
Your valleys
Okay. I'd like to read you an article entitled "The Fire, the Preacher, and the Light," written by Imad Mohit. We said goodbye and promised to meet again next week, but alas, the good preacher could not keep his promise. We were a tribe of refugees, marooned from our homes for 6 days and nights, and were now gathered together at the Peoples Valley Fire Department Hall to talk about our situation and maybe find out if our homes were burnt or not. The place was packed. Given the chaos of the times, the ordeal of the mandatory evacuation, the unknown status of the fire, and the news of the horrific tragedy those 19 men lost, we were simply numb, perhaps for sanity's sake. But still, we began going from friend to friend, asking questions and answering queries, reaching out for one another, hearing out each other's stories, as if leaning on one another for fear of falling. Nothing seemed certain. The cup of joy seemed terribly empty. We were threads of a fabric, pulled here and there asunder, looped out of shape. Nothing seemed to be keeping the fabric together but our common pains, our complaints about the unfairness of it all, that such a fate should befall us. We even indulged in laying blame on this institution or that official, like a false safety valve, that it hurts less if I blame someone else for my misfortunes. If time were to heal us, we had no patience to wait, but wanted to wallow in the nightmare, feel it, touch it, show the bruises. We had no problem crying. We had plenty of reasons to. Precious lives lost, properties turned into heaps of twisted metal, molten glass, and charred wood, and all things valuable to heart now turned into ashes. On that July afternoon, as the merciless heat breathed more fury into the fire up above the hill, we, down below, could not help but feel as victims of a perfect storm. As united as we were in our pains and sufferings, we had no common cry to pull us out of the darkness. Until the raspy voice rang above the mayhem and we all came to attention. It was the preacher, the one who had a habit of coming to community meetings and bringing his brand of religion, which was always about people's daily lives instead of some make-believe stuff. "This is a special day, everyone," we heard him say. He gave it a pause, as if to let the thought sink in a bit, and then, giving his voice a sharper pitch, went on, "We're going to have everyone who wishes to thank whoever or whatever speak up. Be loud and clear, as you mean every word you say." It didn't take but a few seconds before the hands began to rise, asking permission to place a thanks. Non-stop thanks went on and on and on. Every time somebody else spoke, it made the hall a bit fuller with that medicine of gratitude. By the time we all spoke, that cup of joy was brim full again. Like always, the Reverend Pastor Paul Jones had come with his brand of religion and saved the day. that good preacher surely knew how to turn on the light.
So, do you want to? Yeah. It's okay. I can. Just a couple words. This final piece we're going to do was the first piece that Paul taught us, and it was probably his favorite because we end every concert with it. And it's our wish for all you, besides.
If there would only be Test. I want to thank everybody for being here today. I know it's a little warm out there. We'll try to get this to quick. I want to introduce Caden Smith. He's one of our cadets from our original program that we've had going for approximately 10 years now. He's been in the program for 8-9 years now. He went up through the ranks. He's finished as a captain. Now he's actually finished his wildland class up in Prescott. He is a wildland firefighter. He is part of our crew right now, and he is a wildland or a firefighter with Yarnell Fire. This is one of our volunteers, new volunteer. This is Rashad Bump. And what they're going to do today is they're going to demonstrate how to put their turnouts on for you. So while they're doing that, I'll tell you a little about the program. It starts in September, August, September. Usually goes to around May. They pretty much do everything a regular firefighter does. They all get their firefighter 1-2 books, and they get full turnouts. They turn on their SCBAs, and they actually do live burns and actual fire. So it's a good program. They enjoy it. It goes from ages 16 all the way to 6th grade to 19 years old. So we welcome everybody to come out and watch. We do it on every other Saturday when we are doing the program. Normally they would throw their SCBAs in their mask while they're doing this and be on oxygen, and they need to do this drill within 2 minutes. It's a little warm out there today, so I wasn't going to make them throw their tanks. So when they're done, they clap their hands. That's a sign that they're done. That's when we usually stop to watch. All right. Good job. Let's give them a big hand. All right, you guys can do more. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ray Pice, Captain, Peoples Valley Fire Prevention Specialist, and the Weaver Mountains Firewise Communities Lead Coordinator, along with Lou Theokas and Gray Stafford. Thank you for being here today. It's an honor for me to be here. It's very nice to see everybody show up, especially in the heat, and especially these guys here. Somebody get them a water. Right? As we meet here today to commemorate these great men and recount the individual tragedies many of you have experienced, we need to remember some of the factors that contributed to the events of that day 12 years ago. Just as importantly, we need to speak about what we will do to prevent that from ever happening again. The conditions at the time were extraordinary. There was no fire history in the footprint of the Yarnell Hill Fire. The fuels conditions combined with weather and topography to create the firestorm that engulfed this community. Efforts underway now will protect that community. The formation of the Glen Isla Yarnell Firewise Committee, actually it's known as the Yarnell Glen Isla Firewise Committee, headed by Rebecca Wilkes, will now help guide and drive forward the fire prevention and mitigation efforts needed to create defensible space in all areas of these communities. Additional efforts are underway in the communities of Wilhoit, Congress, and Peoples Valley. Grant opportunities have been leveraged to begin the process of Firewise qualifications for recognition in these communities and will continue to expand as they come available. All important fuels reduction and mitigation efforts are ongoing. We now have actively pursued recognition by the National Fire Protection Association as a nationally recognized Firewise site for Yarnell and Glen Isla. This will bring much needed fuels reduction and sensible projects designed to protect our community perimeter from any future fire threats. Resident approved neighborhood mitigation efforts will improve the point protection measures on individual home sites. Additional community Firewise assessors have been trained and qualified in our community. Rebecca Wilkes, Marco Sakala, who's absent today, he's on a family errand, and Trish Edwards can now assist our current assessor, Captain Chuck Edwards, to improve the pace of assessments conducted to identify the problem areas in your community here. Grant opportunities will be developed to assist homeowners in cost reduction and to encourage their involvement. Membership in the Yavapai Firewise organization, POWIC, Prescott Area Wildland Urban Interface Committee, will provide a networking opportunity and informational capacity that we can exercise to benefit the community. We will enlist our state and federal wildland cooperators and major landowners in developing and funding proposed fire mitigation efforts. Our goal to create NFPA nationally recognized Firewise sites in all the communities here in the Weaver Mountains will never waver as we continue to commemorate these great men. Lessons learned will bring improvements and opportunities seized as we continue living in these fire-adapted communities. At this time, it is my honor to announce the official national recognition of Yarnell and Glen Isla as Firewise communities by the National Fire Protection Association, and welcome you to the Weaver Mountains Firewise communities and Yavapai Firewise. If I could have Chris Edwards, Chief Shearer, Rebecca Wilkes, and Francis Lechner come forward, please. It is my honor to present to Yarnell, Glen Isla, a lot of work, girls and guys, your official plaque recognizing you nationally as a Firewise community. Rebecca? Come on over. Chief? Hold it up.
No.
I'll hold it up for you. You're welcome. This is your official trophy right here. You did it. Rebecca, since you're the chairperson, take possession of that. We also have some additional signage that we're working on through the committee and through some grant opportunities that we've identified. We're going to continue to make this community as safe as possible. I have one last announcement. We were informed by Representative Selena Bliss that the Weaver Mountains Public Safety Facility that is planned in Peoples Valley was allocated $1 million towards construction. This was awarded in the fiscal year 25-26 state budget that she is a member of As our representative, she fought for that money for us. We'll continue to work on that. Thank you all very much.
So I'm wearing a different hat in your heads, right? So one of the main ways that after the fire, we felt that one of the best ways to honor the memory of the Hotshots was to make Yarnell, Glen Island, our communities, as thriving, vibrant communities as possible. That's the best way to honor their sacrifice. So you just learned of 2 puzzle pieces, and now there's a third one. Shortly after the fire in 2013, a brief telehealth program started as a pro bono effort by a doctor in the valley. It was not successful for a number of reasons. I'm happy to announce that the Weaver Mountains Health Initiative, a newish 501c3 organization, we're starting a new telehealth project right across the street in the fire admin building. This is a telehealth access point. TAP, we're calling it the TAP room. It's not what you think, everybody. It's not that kind of tap room. We're not providing the actual healthcare advice. We're simply providing the equipment and the support to help you connect with your doctors, with your nurse practitioner, with your nurses. It's a way to save money, time, transportation. It's still in its early stages, but we are opening. It's a soft launch. We're a soft launch with hopefully hard ice cream after today's event, right across the street. So I know there's no such thing as a free lunch, but there is free ice cream. So it's just yet another step to making our communities thriving, vibrant, and healthy. Thanks for being here, and I hope you come by for ice cream.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Weber. I'm the Deputy Director at Arizona State Parks and Trails. And first off, I just want to thank you and let you know it is a real honor and a privilege to stand here, but also on behalf of Arizona State Parks and Trails and the state of Arizona to be the stewards of the Granite Hotshot Memorial State Park. That is something that we have great pride and honor in, and it's amazing to be out here with your community today. I drove here on the 89 over from Prescott Valley. So I drove through Prescott on my way here. I know a lot of the out-of-towners like I drove up from the valley. And as I was driving here, some of those clouds that you saw a few minutes ago were hanging over Prescott. And I looked over at Granite Mountain, and as I was driving, and it was this amazing image where the mountain was lit up, but the clouds were behind it and over it, all in the same moment. And I just had to share that with you all because it felt significant. I also just have to thank you all. That was beautiful, and your performance truly was, I think, a real, it really spoke to the love that you had for your Pastor Paul. So thank you. That was really beautiful. I really appreciated that. We're here today to reflect and remember an event that changed and marked this community and the 19 Granite Mountain Hotshots who gave their lives during that fire. These men were selfless people who were loved by their community and respected by the industry of wildland firefighting professionals. When I first hiked the path that I'm sure many of you know now in our state park, I didn't know what to expect. And as I read the plaques and the memorials along the trail, I was struck because these were fathers, they were husbands, and they were sons. And I thought about that as a daughter, and as a mother, and as a spouse. And here in Yarnell and the surrounding communities, their sacrifices are remembered daily. In 2016, Arizona State Parks and Trails opened Granite Mountain Hotshots Memorial State Park. And then in 2023, we took over the operations of this beautiful space, the Yarnell Hill Memorial. And I really have to say that this is such an amazing compliment to the community, to the healing, to the resilience that you all have created. Since its opening, almost 200,000 people have visited the Granite Mountain Hotshots Memorial State Park to learn about that event, hike the trail, and pay their respects. These visitors have traveled from all 50 states and from countries all over the world, including China, Germany, Poland, Norway, Canada, Australia, and the Czech Republic. I believe these visitors are coming to this park because of the far-reaching impact of the loss of these men and their sacrifice, but also the impact that that made on their lives and the memory that they've left behind. Here in town, this memorial is about building connections, supporting families, and community. We would like to thank the Yarnell Hill Resource Group for creating this space to educate and help the community heal and work together. People can visit this memorial to learn more about the events of the fire, the impact to the community, and to remember the lives and homes lost during the fire. The Yarnell Hill Fire burned 127 buildings, destroying homes, businesses, and livelihoods, something that truly cannot be quantified in numbers, as I know all of you know, and that many of the plaques and signage here do such a great job of communicating. Together, we can educate visitors, friends, family about the effects that fires have and how to prevent these types of events in the future. And that was such a wonderful example of the Firewise community, such an incredible resource and program for communities across our nation. We can share the story of who the Hotshots were and help people imagine what they went through on that final day 12 years ago. We've heard from visitors to the trail what a lasting impression these experiences make. They say this hike is powerful, or they're reeling from emotion. You truly cannot leave the park without being changed. And I experienced this firsthand on my time here and every time thereafter. Today, on this tragic anniversary, during an already active wildfire season in Arizona, I want to take a moment to honor what the Granite Mountain Hotshots sacrificed for their community and how we can remember and honor them in our lives and our communities moving forward. Thank you.
I'm Nina Forbo, part of Yarnell Fire District, and this next song has become part of our Remembrance event tradition. It was written by Denise Roggio Whitley and her husband, Lou Roggio, at the urging of Chuck Tidy. Denise worked for the Yarnell Fire District and became an extremely successful grant writer, not only for the YFD, but for organizations throughout the Weaver Mountains, and eventually throughout the United States. Denise passed away in January after a long struggle with cancer. Please remember her and Paul Jones in your prayers, along with the 19 Hotshots, and I would welcome you to sing along with me. Logistics. Thought we had everything unwrinkled, but that's as much as you get. Okay. Let me, so I can just move, we can just move that. them this was the journey we hearts of courage. You have saved us from the flames, blazing on. Rest in peace now. Thank you for the sacrifice you gave. A hotshot crew of 20 men, 19 gone and one remains. His heart broken, filled with pain. He worked with them side by side. Every day they risked their lives. Now his brothers all are gone. It must be hard to be just one. It's clear your journey isn't done. You must have some work here left to do. As we bow our heads each night, we pray that heaven shines its light to help you through this dark and slowly heart of courage. How we thank you for the blessing that you gave. Blazing on, may God keep you. Thank you, memories comfort you today. Thank you. For the hands of mercy, hearts of courage, you have saved us from the flames, blazing on love, rest in peace now. Thank you for the sacrifice you gave.
Is it on now? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. I'm Lou Theotis. Close to the mic, okay. And this is my wife, Marcy. And we are about to read the names of the 19 firefighters from Granite Mountain. And after each name, you'll hear the sound of a bell calling them to final call. Before that, though, I just want to say something really quickly. The Weaver Mountain Chorale, this is our third season, and there's about 20 of us. And Paul Jones, after each performance, would say, "Did you like that? Do you like to sing? Well, if you do, we'd love to have you join us, even if you don't think you can sing very well." But that was his message at the end. So if you're interested in joining the Weaver Mountain Chorale, we're going to have another season coming up, learning a whole new bunch of songs. And we've been blessed to have Jeff Hare take over as our director. So if you want to just talk to some.
I'll now read the names. Andrew Ashcraft,
Robert Caldwell,
Travis Carter,
Dustin DeFord,
Chris McKenzie,
Eric Marsh,
Grant McKee,
Sean Meisner,
Scott Norris,
Wade Parker,
John Person,
Anthony Rose,
Jesse Steed,
Joe Thurston,
Travis Turberthil,
William Warnicki,
Clayton Whitted,
Kevin Wojcik,
Garrett Zuperger. We'll now have a moment of silence. Thank you.
That concludes our program for today. Please don't leave. One of the things that we love about doing this event, even with the heat, is there's plenty of cold water. The Peoples Valley Fire Auxiliary provided cookies. They'll be out served to you in a moment. And take the time to mingle and visit with friends maybe you haven't seen for a little bit. So thank you all for being here. Wait for cookies.